If you've ever had an interview guest show up unprepared or forget to promote their episode or worse, completely no show you, this video is going to solve that problem. I'm about to show you the exact high level automation system that has given me a 100% show up rate and turns every guest into an active promoter of their content. Recently, I had an incredible conversation with podcast growth coach Kim Parkinson about turning podcasts into client magnets. If you missed that interview, I'll link it below because Kim shared some amazing strategies about using podcasts strategically to attract your ideal clients. But here's what happened after I posted that interview. Several of you reached out asking about the behind the scenes process. How do I actually manage interview guests? How do I make sure nothing falls through the cracks? And how do I turn those guest relationships into ongoing connections? Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you exactly how I've automated my entire interview guest process in HighLevel, from the initial booking all the way through to nurturing the relationship after the episode goes live. So before we get started, I'm Kim Roth. I'm a business automation strategist and certified HighLevel expert. I'm the founder of Allura Connections and Tech Simple Solutions. And with over 20 years in corporate IT, I've learned that the best technology solutions feel like magic: simple, seamless, and reliable. I'm on a mission to help you simplify your software, streamline your systems, and scale without having to hire a huge team. And if you've been thinking about creating interview content for your business, or you already do, but you're drowning in the admin and manual tasks, then this is going to change everything for you. So here's what I'm going to show you: the complete automation workflow that manages the initial guest booking and confirmation, the interview reminder sequences, the pre-interview intake so that you can get that information without going back and forth via email, post-interview follow-up and relationship building so that you can continue long-term relationships with your guests. And the best part is, once this is set up, I don't even have to think about it. The system handles 90% of the guest management process for me, which means I can focus on having great conversations instead of chasing people down for their bio and headshot. So let's dive into HighLevel and I'll walk you through my entire system. So first, let me show you how an interview guest gets into my system. Now, I manually book most of my interview times because I only do interviews a couple times a month, and I want to control when they happen. I don't want to have a strategy session right before an interview. I don't want to have something immediately after the interview so that I have time to really, devote to my guest. So here's the key. Even though I'm manually scheduling, I still enter them through my HighLevel calendar because I want to trigger the automation. So I'm going to show you how that works. So first thing I'm going to do is come over here and click New, and then select my interview calendar. Then the appointment title is already set up inside of the calendar, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm the only team member in there, so that's good. And then I can come down here and set custom and say that I am going to interview them next Thursday at 12 o'clock. Now my time is set up as a 55-minute interview, so it's automatically going to fill in the end time. I don't have to worry about any of this. Then I'm going to come over here and select my contact. My contact does not exist, so I'm going to create a new contact. I am going to say I'm going to interview Minnie Mouse. I don't have a phone number for Minnie. And then I'm just going to put in an alias email here so that I get all of the emails myself. And the time zone, I'm going to leave her in Detroit, and then click save. So here I've created a new contact. She's added to this appointment, and I can go ahead and say book appointment. Now, once that happens, she gets added in to my automation automatically. That way I can come here and I can see that she is already sitting down here as a confirmed appointment. So what happened was the trigger was that it was a confirmed appointment on my interview calendar. I added a tag, and then I created an opportunity in my interview pipeline so that the interview name is her name and then the pipeline stage is booked. And I'll walk you through that opportunity pipeline here in a little bit. Then she gets assigned to me and a confirmation email gets sent to her. So inside that confirmation email, I'm giving her the details about the interview and just kind of recapping what we've already discussed about either in, a DM or messages or on a phone call at a prior time or a Zoom call. I'm showing my age here. So inside of this email, I'm just confirming what I already told her. I am giving her the link to my Zoom room. I am giving her kind of a heads up as to what kind of questions I'm going to ask. And most importantly, I'm giving her a link to an intake form where I can gather the information that I need in order to publish this interview later. So the goal is for her to have filled this out and everything is all set before we ever have the interview. So that is all that is inside of the confirmation email. Then I also can automatically send a guest release form. I can notify my team that we've had somebody book an interview. And then she's going to sit down here and wait for a week before the interview. And then I am going to send out a little bit of a reminder email and just kind of, give her the scoop that, hey, the interview is coming up. I'm looking forward to talking with you. And I really want to set a follow-up call with her. So I'm planting the seed, giving her the idea that, hey, this is a continued relationship. I'm investing in you. I want you to invest in me. And I want us to continue to collaborate and work together past the interview. So that's kind of what I'm leading towards. We're going to continue to build this relationship. Then 24 hours before the interview, I am kind of sending out a technical email that, hey, make sure you have Zoom, make sure it's updated, test your microphone, make sure you have good internet. If you have kids or fur babies, make sure that they're going to be somewhere where they're not going to interrupt you. Just kind of giving her little reminders as to, hey, this is serious. We're going to have a real interview here. And then 1 hour before the call, I am, again, just sending her a short little reminder, giving her that Zoom link again, just so that, she's got multiple places to go find it. As part of that calendar invite, she also got an appointment on her calendar. So she's got this Zoom room in multiple places so she can find me. Then once the interview is complete, so at the end of this workflow, I am going to move them over to a pipeline stage for interview complete, and they get added into my email list. So we can continue to nurture and build that relationship. All right. So let's chat a little bit about that intake form and how that works. So I am just sending them over to a simple landing page where I embedded a form. So I can get their name, their email, their bio, what title do they want to use, their headshot. That way I have all of the information that I need in order to create the social post, the thumbnail covers, everything that I need for the interview. So to make sure that they fill this out before the interview, I'm going to send them a reminder. From the initial confirmation workflow that was set out, they were tagged with trigger interview form reminder, and that drops them into this workflow. So the first thing that we're going to do is remove that tag because it is just a trigger tag. They don't need to continue to have it on their contact. And then I'm going to give them 48 hours for them to complete that form on their own. If they don't complete it, they are going to get just a short and sweet little reminder that, hey, we really need you to fill out this form with the following information. Please complete it as soon as possible. I am also going to send them a text because I really want them to do this and have it completed. And hopefully, with getting it on their phone, when they have a few minutes, they can go ahead and fill out that form for me. After that, I'm going to wait another 12 hours. And if they still haven't filled it out, then I am sending a notification to my team for them to go out there, find that communication channel on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever we have chatted last, and send them this message. So then again, they have it somewhere else so that they can go in and fill this form out for me. Once they have completed that form, they get dropped into an form completed workflow, and that is going to go ahead and give them a tag that the form was submitted and remove them from that reminder workflow. So if they fill it out within that first, 48 hours, they're never even going to get a reminder notice. Everything went perfect, but if they don't, then I can send them the reminders and we can make sure that that form is filled out ahead of time so that I don't have to worry about it when I get on the interview with them. All right, so let me recap what we've done so far. We've booked a call, we've sent out the confirmation, I've sent out the guest release. All of this has happened automatically. They filled out the intake form for me without me having to manually email them back and forth. I have sent out the reminders before the interview. Let's just say we had the interview. What happens next? Because after the interview is complete, this is where I want to add a personal touch. And I want to thank them for coming on the interview with me and sharing their strategies with me. And I want to be specific because it really does mean a lot when somebody comes on and shares knowledge with me and my audience. And so let me show you how I do that post-interview thank you snippet. And I can still do that inside of HighLevel. And let me bring up the contact. So over here, I already had Minnie Mouse brought up here. And before we do that, let me show you the agreement email that went out. So up here is the agreement, and you can see it's just a simple email that I'm sending. They are going to click this button. It's going to bring up a contract where they can fill out their information, their name, address, phone number, and then sign it down here below. So super simple, but it's done automatically for me. My team doesn't have to worry about it. And they'll also get some reminders to fill that out too. So that is the agreement email, but I wanted to show you how I do the thank you snippets. So when I come down here, make sure that you are on email. It's the only option that I have for Minnie because I didn't fill out a phone number for her. So I don't have the option to send her a text. So I'm going to click on this little insert snippet down here, go over to my interview folders, find the thank you one, and then it pops it up in here automatically. I don't have to go search for the email that I sent the last person that I interviewed. I don't have to write it from scratch. It's in here. It's started. And all I need to do is come in here and look for the brackets and customize this piece based on the conversation that we had during the interview. So I can quickly update this and then we will have scheduled a follow-up call. So I can put that date and time in here, even though they're also going to get a confirmation email for that too from HighLevel. But it's just a little extra touch that I can do to make sure, again, that she knows we'll be talking again soon. So then I can click send, or I can actually schedule it if I want it to go out later or go out tomorrow. So that is how the thank you snippets work inside of HighLevel. All right, so let's show you the next step of the automation magic. When I know the date that that interview is going to go live, I can come in here and update a date field that I have created inside of their contact. So down here, I've got a block of fields for their interview intake. And inside of here, I have dates of interview release. And I can come in here and say that their interview is going to go live on September 22nd and hit save. So once I do that, it's going to kick off another automation. And this one is called interview release. So inside of this workflow, the trigger is contact changed. So when I put that date in, it's going to trigger this workflow. It's going to move her opportunity card over to interview scheduled. And I will show you the pipeline and explain that. Then the event time is set. So we always publish on Mondays at noon. So the Friday before, I want them to get their first email from me, just sending them a reminder that, hey, our interview is going live soon. And inside this email, it's just a heads up that, hey, your interview is going live on Monday. We are going to publish it to our Facebook page and to our YouTube channel. So all this is doing is giving them a heads up. Then they're going to sit here and wait until it goes live. Then inside of this email, it is giving them all of the links to everywhere. So we actually publish it as a blog. I put it out on my YouTube channel. It goes on my Facebook page. And we also create a LinkedIn article. So it gives them so many different ways that they can share the article. And when they get this, I always pin the interview information to the top of my pages so that they can easily find it and go ahead and share. But they are not obligated to share. I appreciate it if they share, but by no means do they have to share. Then it's going to update that opportunity to the interview is live. So again, in that pipeline, I know exactly where they are in the stage. All right, now let me show you that pipeline. So this is where I keep track of where every guest is in the process. And this gives me a visual overview of my entire guest flow at a glance. So here are my pipeline stages. I've booked, which means that we've booked that initial interview. The confirmation has been sent. The intake is complete, so they have filled out their form and they're ready for the interview. Then we have completed the interview. So the interview is completed. I've sent a thank you. The interview has been scheduled. So like the live date has been sent and that launch sequence has been activated. Then our interview goes live. So at the end of that workflow at the bottom, I'm moving them over to interview is live. And then here is like my gift that I give them at the end of the whole process. So this again is a way for us to stay connected. So it's, a way for us to collaborate going forward, or it's a free strategy session with me or something. I've given them something for us to continue the relationship. And so that is key. Like they already love you. You've shined the light on them. Keep the relationship going because they're going to be a big fan of yours and you of them when the full process is done. So that is my process and how people actually move through my flow, and I can keep track of them all for this seamless interview process. All right, so let me share the results of this automation system. 95% of my guests complete their intake forms without any of us ever having to chase them, me or my team. I have 0 no-shows since implementing the reminder sequence. And 80% of my guests actively promote their episode. They want to share it too. And best of all, I've had multiple ongoing collaborations with my guests going forward into the future. And me and my team save 2 to 5 hours a month on guest management tasks. We all know where they are in the process. My team doesn't have to ask me if something is done. We know it's done. And it has been a huge time relief for all of us. And the best part is that my interview guests consistently tell me that this is the most organized interview process they've ever experienced. And so that builds my reputation and leads to them sending me more referrals and recommending other guests for me to interview. So there you have it. That is my complete interview guest automation system inside of HighLevel. This takes what used to be hours of manual coordination and turns it into a seamless professional experience for both me and my guests. So the key pieces here work for any type of content collaboration. Automate the administrative tasks when you can. It will create a professional experience that people will remember. And, build in the follow-up and that relationship nurturing because, again, like you've already showed them how amazing you are. Continue the conversation. If you are thinking about adding interview content into your business strategy, or you already have a podcast, but you're struggling to figure out how guests fit into your overall content and client attraction strategy, I highly recommend reaching out to Kim Parkinson. She is the expert that I interviewed last week, and she can help you create a podcast strategy that actually converts listeners into clients. You can find Kim's information in the description with this video, and definitely go check her out. Go check out her podcast too, which is called Podcasting for Spiritual Women, to see her strategies in action. And if you already have interview guests coming in, but you need an automation system like this built for your business, including all of the workflows, the email templates, and the follow-up sequences, let's chat. Book a call with me. We can customize everything for your specific interview style and your guest management needs. So the link to book a call with me is in the description below, or you can hop on to my email list, grab my freebie that is also with this video, and you can reply to any email that I ever send you, and I will always give you my best advice. Last but not least, don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a behind the scenes look at the automations that can transform your business.